So have you guys ever wondered like what it takes to make a company successful? Like what type of mindset you need to have to drive a company to, let's say, $100 million a year? The supplement space is a very saturated market. So you see some companies that fizzle out and they go out of business within a year. You see other companies like ours that are just slow and steady with their growth trajectory. And you see some companies hit the market and just skyrocket, take off. So today it's Saturday. I'm actually flying out to Houston and I get a chance to speak with Imtiaz Uddin, owner of Ekkovision. Within this is their third year in business, and this year they're projected to do $100 million in their third year of business, which is unheard of, especially in the supplement space. And this isn't a company that had just a bunch of investment behind them. Like M started the company with $14,000 of his own money. We got a flight to catch.
Take a hit, let's dance till we can't breathe.
The time is finally here. After years, I have finally met the man, M.
I'm M. I founded Ekko, a couple of years ago. Actually, before that, I was with UXO Supplement, and that's like one of the brands that I myself utilize and I used to like proudly push because I actually really love the formula and the price was fair. So that was one thing I reached out to John. I was like, hey, just so FYI, I'm starting my own brand, but I love your formula. I'd like to get an opportunity to get a code. Everyone was like going after the big 4 or 5 of the formulas, but I'm like, this formula outshines every single one of them. To the point was one of the big brands came to my life, was like, oh, like 1 scoop of my pre-workout, like half a serving is better than the entire serving of this. Prove me wrong. And they just left. Like before I can even explain. But anyway.
So M, the thing that's so amazing about this is when I first met M, he was over in New Jersey. And when he launched his supplement company, he was working out of just his garage, just a small garage, shipping out products. And Ekkovision was just kind of like, it was just that, it was a vision, it was an idea. And to see that it has exploded from a garage in a very, how big was your house?
1,200 square feet.
Out of a 1,200 square foot house to, how big is this warehouse?
48,000.
To a 48,000 square foot warehouse is insane. Your first order for Ekkovision?
1,000 unit, 2 flavors.
How much did you invest to start the company?
I want to say 14,000. Life saving and my stock at a 55% overall negative, my portfolio, just to cover that 50%. I had no other backup plan to where I'm gonna come up with that 50%. Do you know that rest second 50%? So what I did was I did a pre-order. So I took people's money a month ahead of the product actually got to my hand, and it sold out in 6 days. Here's the interesting part. So after 6 days, right, I have $55,000 in hand from Shopify as a payout, and I sent that money, all of it, to CCB for the next order. The next order was almost 2,500 unit. At that time, I was still working my 9 to 5. So whatever money I had incoming, I was also dumping that. I was also using my credit card to maxed out. At that time, I also signed up for Amex Gold card. So it allowed me to make some payments because, again, just because I got rid of this 1,000 units successfully doesn't mean I'm going to now sit down and wait for it to come in. I'm like, nope, we're going to work on the next version. So the moment I was able to, I placed the order. At 1.0, I already had draft of 3 products. Dethroner came in 5-6 months after we launched, but I already had the draft of Dethroner. Dumped this insane pre-workout that people are gonna either hate me or they're gonna think it's the most revolutionary pre-workout ever.
I will tell you guys that Dethroner was the inspiration for Project M777. Not directly, but so many people after you launched Dethroner reached out to us like, dude, when are you gonna launch a maxed out pre-workout, right? Because Dethroner made a statement in the industry. Yep. And I kept saying, no, we won't do it. No, we won't do it. And then it became, well, let's give it a shot because you have to listen to your customers. You have to listen to them. And now it's our best-selling item. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Noah. You might recognize him from TikTok.
Project Math.
Look at that.
That's
that
see the resemblance
right there. Damn.
I'm the logistics manager for Ekkovision, so I kind of run the daily operations here in the warehouse. I have a great leadership team that helps me out. Sunday, so we're the only one here right now.
I will tell you that Noah is one of the day oneers, right?
Pretty early on. I was an affiliate from the very beginning, so working with the company in some capacity from day one, but didn't really question it from the beginning. It was just amazing opportunity. I love supplements, love pre-workout.
Oh yeah. So when you started Ekkovision, you had this vision. You manifested this.
If I'm being honest, I'm a very paranoid individual. Throughout the whole time, I'm like, something's gonna go wrong. But I wanted to say no, the last case scenario. We're placing PO and like, I want to see how this pans out. Sometimes like I get worried and like, you know, a couple days later, that no doesn't seem like as scary as it used to be. So even right now, like when I took out a whole bunch of loans to make that yes for 900,000 units of beaters, that's like $2.7 million for the water. So, you know, approving that, like, am I going to be able to make the payment? I didn't want to say no. Manifesting is like, I never imagined to get this far. I thought it was going to be $5,000 in total sales as like a side hustle of doing like, you know, my 9-to-5 job. I swear, like the profit aspect, like I never imagined even touching a Lamborghini. So it was kind of just one of the situations where like, it kind of played into that. Like the life that I have currently was like a byproduct of the journey. But I was just like enjoying the process of creating the products. Like the fact that we have a physical product for the first time, I was like, it was humbling and it was like unreal experience. And I was just like enjoying the process, and everything else kind of just like came into pieces later.
So how many times were you afraid that you were going out of business?
When I say that, I like literally every single day. It's like a concern that I have in the back of my head. And it's like, even though we're like this stable, I still to this day, something's going to go wrong. Something's going to go wrong.
And one of the things that I never truly understood the full story behind was like, you up and moved. Like you're like, I'm leaving New Jersey, I'm going to Houston. Like, what was the reason behind that?
My drama, the 3.0 was launching. So it was like a $500,000 invoice. I'm like, man, I need a space and I can't do it in the house. Place a PO, I'm like, I'll figure something out. That's like always my mentality. You can select the delivery position when they're done, right? So it still gives me like a month or 3 months to like really, you know, figure something out. Worst case scenario, we just get a storage and we'll, you know, we get a fan and we get shipped from there. That was the idea. I applied for a lot of location and it kind of like they were denying this one guy who accepted us, and I sent him the money wired, and then on the spot, we didn't even have a house, we didn't have an Airbnb. When I came up here, packed up everything, I had a suitcase with my clothing only, a few pieces of clothing, you know, and I was staying in hotels after hotels, Airbnb after Airbnb. So we were using Wi-Fi from Airbnb to print the label, because you need Wi-Fi to connect to Rollo and then print the label, you know what I mean? So we would go to like even something like Alpha Elite, the gym, and we would print the label in their Wi-Fi. If life gives you an opportunity, you have to take the risk. If you don't, it's only your fault. And that's I think the fine line between me and others is like everything goes down. At the very least, it went down for my own control. Like I feel like for the first time ever, I have control over my life. When you go into the actual warehouse, it gets a little claustrophobic because we prioritize, again, the objective is if we want to do $100,000 a day, we need to have a couple $1 million worth of goods at our hand. And no, it's not drop ship. So one of the things that I prioritize over everything is I want to go after volume. Because again, if we're trying to go after toe to toe, if there's any hope of doing that, is we need to go after volume. And as a result, prioritizing the supply, and a lot of times we'll have issues, right? And one of the biggest reasons, like I'd rather have kind of like delayed gratification for myself. Don't get me wrong, I still have a Lambo, happened a little bit later than I expected, have a pretty nice house, and a Porsche GT3. I did it when I was in a very comfortable position financially, right? Instead of pulling the trigger early stage, rather focused on growing the brand as much as we possibly can and just hyper focused on it. We introduced products after products, whether it's creatine and just like added flavors. A whole bunch of flavors were missed. People hated us for it. We deleted them. This is all just beaters. Already paid off, and they're all in transit for 900,000 units of beaters. Third of the shipment, that's just 1/3. So all of those are beaters. So with online, timing is everything. If your audience wants a product and you're taking 6-7 months to have it back in stock, they are no longer your customer. So these are the blank t-shirt that I'm wearing. We have well over 60,000 units in stock. This was by accident. So we had a cutoff and we were like, oh, hey, we like the fabric, let's get a sample. And then all of a sudden I just saw myself wearing the sample over and over because of how comfortable it was. So then we bought a batch, sold out instantly. And then people just kept asking for it. We just kept adding colors and more colors. Now we have more than 20 colors, 2 different thickness. So if people like thicker fabric or thinner fabric, gave them options. Not everyone's going to buy a pink blank, but there are some people. You're not producing for yourself, but for them. There's few audience that want vibrant colors. Appreciate fun colors, okay? Not everyone's depressed like us, okay? People like to have fun. When they think of an option, whether it's a pre-workout, it's like you have to give people options. And it's like when you And to be relevant, you have to consistently talk about it. And one of the biggest reasons I may come off as cringy because of the sheer amount of contents I push out, but it's my brand. If I don't push it out, who else will? I can't expect a random creator to make their entire life about Ekko. So for me, it's like, you know, even if I come off as cringy, I do not care. It's my brand. I love my products, and I just want to push out that many contents. One of the biggest reasons why I added options, how can I allow for my creators to have a hook to talk about? And again, new stuff on a regular basis. Like the sheer amount of creatine. Again, it will make your life hell because your cash flow will take a hit. Again, having all this inventory is not fun. It's not anybody's ideal case. But we're giving people options, but then like some of these flavors will come in 200 servings, 100 servings, 50 servings. So if now you're making all these videos, somebody might want to try it, but they do not want to commit to 100 servings. Believe it or not, on protein, a few months I lost money. Yeah. But you have to have it. If you don't, the brand image dilutes. I'm very openly take more margin on clothing. So like it kind of evens it out for me. So see this OB Mix 1.0, we just launched new version, so we have to get rid of that. So we're probably gonna put it on a dirt cheap clearance just to get rid of the last bit of inventory. But we still want to launch the new one because we need to stay relevant. UPS will leave a truck for us to load up, and then they'll pick it up every day. So it makes it easier for us. So these are probably energy drinks. We get typically 3,000 to 5,000 orders a day, and then we just ship out all ourselves. That's why I didn't do 3PL, because 3PL would be much more expensive. It's just not worth it. So a lot of our warehouse employees can also do shop videos and everything else, and they actually have become our sponsored athletes. So not only do they get athlete commission salary, they also get, of course, a warehouse salary. So that I think they're happy, hopefully, right? Fingers crossed. Straight up, I have offers of well over $100 million for the brand just to be investors, where they want 10% at a $100 million valuation. I could take it and have a huge payout, buy some other Lamborghinis, or I can love my brand more. And it's just like the temptation, you have to not give in.
Look at this. Listen to this sexiness.
I'm gonna have him grab it.
That thing is nasty. Dude, you can feel it. You can feel the... Woo!
It's like
your brother's car you got him?
Yeah. So my brother likes SUV, but I want to get him something really, really fun. And again, he's the one that sent me to college, bro. The dude did Ubers hours after hours, 7 days a week, just to send me to college and have my family's back. And I want to have his back. Bought my parents a house, and then trying to buy him a house too, hopefully this year.
Usually the parking lot, this is Sunday, so normally it's full.
Yeah, it's very, very empty. You'd see Audi, Porsche, GT3.
This is one of your warehouse guys' cars?
Yep.
If there's one thing my time with M made crystal clear, it's this. Greatness doesn't come without risk. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward waiting on the other side. Where most people would fold under pressure, M leaned in, betting on himself every single time. He showed me moments where his bank account was buried, $30,000 in the red, and still he moved forward like success was inevitable. That kind of confidence, that kind of relentless belief, that's what separates those from dream from those who build. Whatever you're chasing, bet on yourself, take the risk. Because the only way to find out what's possible is to go all in.